So what's the political fallout? You've got the Trump situation. You've got what we just learned about Santos. I mean, how do the Republicans deal with that? And then we have these headlines that Biden just made telling us what he's going to do next, where the debt ceiling is, or what he's not going to do, and his role and how all of this brinkmanship over the debt ceiling started, because it was during the Obama administration that the game really changed in dealing with the out-of-power party. All right, so let's discuss this, and we've got very, very good panelists. We've got conservative talk show host Mark Davis, friend of show, and former White House press secretary under Trump, Stephanie Grisham, also friend of show. So first, I'll start with you. Mark, does this finding, this ruling from this jury on Trump, change the political picture for you?
Oh, for me? Well, okay. If we're seeing through everybody's individual lens, I am an appreciator of every day of the Trump administration policy-wise. As a Republican, I'm not pro or anti-Trump, pro or anti-DeSantis. I am pro-winning, like millions of other people, I think. So I'll spend the primary months evaluating who I think gives us the best chance of winning. So now, that having been said, does this add to the Trump baggage? Does it add to the drama that may give some voters fatigue in a general election? I think it probably does. But before we get to that, in the short term, not only does this not hurt, it may actually help. It plays perfectly into the I'm being persecuted narrative. And I'll just offer this up for anybody. The Mark Davis definition of real political damage is when people who love you decide they don't love you anymore. It's why Benghazi did not hurt Hillary. Her people didn't care about Benghazi. The Trump base, the MAGA base, the people who have decided they love him, not only do they not care about this verdict, they are suspicious of this verdict.
But Benghazi, Stephanie Grisham, was a reckoning of an event. This is a jury finding based on an allegation from a woman who very uncommonly had 2 points of corroboration at the time that it happened. And they have now found 6 men, 3 women, that the former president sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll. What does that mean for Republican and independent women?
Well, I think, I do agree with Mark that with his hardcore base, it's going to be that this was corrupt, it was New York, it was liberal. But, what you just said, it was 6 men and 3 women. And I've got to be honest, when I heard it was 6 men and 3 women, I was like, that might be good for Trump. Not to say that all men would go with Trump. I'm just saying that crossed my mind. I do believe that women voters and the wives of maybe super conservative men, I think that once they go behind that curtain to vote, this has to play in their minds. Like, there's got to be a point when all of these things can no longer be a conspiracy, and he didn't bother to show up. We know this. He continued to attack her. He thought she was his ex-wife. There were so many things that rang true here. I believe that it's going to not cause a lot of damage right now. I agree with Mark there, but I think in the long term, it's a big deal. And let's think about all of the political ads that are being cut right now that the front runner has been convicted of sexual battery.
I don't think this is so much relevant to Trump as it is for the people who want to run against him. And let's see how they use it, specifically in Nikki Haley, unless she's making a straight play to be the VP and then she leaves it alone. Now, did you get to hear what this former staffer of George Santos was just saying on our air after sending us, and this is important, sure, depending on the circumstance, probably not this one. I would just have somebody on air. I don't even know who they are. But I also have the witness statement to the FBI from the same person. And that's a pretty significant allegation of inappropriate touching in the workplace. Mark Davis, how do the Republicans look away from this?
Well, hey, everybody's going to look at this, and I did hear Derek on the show, and his is as compelling a chunk of testimony as anybody who comes with a story to tell. Kind of goes back to the E. Jean Carroll story. How compelling was her testimony? Apparently compelling enough. But in this particular case with Santos, we have a guy who's almost become a cartoon character of lies, misstatements. He's had to cover up for a lot of those, and he seems to be doing it in office in a way that seems pretty satisfying to the people who did vote vote for him. Just like Stephanie and I were just talking, long term, what does this do? Is this a deal breaker? I mean, in the House, you're running every 2 years. He's running again immediately. How much will this damage him? Some of it, as your guest pointed out, some of it is nuts and bolts of finance and campaign statements and filings and dry things like this. Others are a little more spicy. He touched me on my leg, and et cetera, et cetera. But maybe this guy just hates DeSantis's guts. George Santos's guts. I don't know, and it's just impossible to read people's minds.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.